Happy Tuesday, everybody. We are back for No Offense, All Offense. So smash that like. Hopefully you're wearing something very comfy. Grab a beverage and let's get started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want, 'cause your heart's made of gold. But don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you guys. Hello to everyone in the live chat. Welcome back to No Offense, All Offense, the pop culture show with me, stand-up comedian and pop culture vulture, Joleen Lunzer, here to talk about all of the trending topics in pop culture news. We talk about reality shows, things we love to hate, things we hate to love. We talk about it all. We roast it. We roast it up. We take a comedic look. Just a reminder, I am very opinionated, but that does not mean that you have to have the same opinion. You are welcome to sound off in our wonderful live chat, or if you're on the replay crew, hey, replay crew, you can sound off in the comment section and we can just respectfully agree to disagree. Like producer in training, Cordelia, is clearly just super chill and respectful behind me.
That's my opinion!
It's just my opinion. Also, remember, everything I say is true, except for the parts that are false. Everything is alleged and for entertainment purposes only.
Allegedly.
So don't sue me.
I heard actually mixed reviews on Joleen.
Oh, Joleen was excellent. What are they saying?
Oh my gosh. Ginger says, your birthday is February 17th too? Ugh, twin. What's going on, twin? Aquarius season. What a great day to be born. Us. Paris Hilton. Birthday's February 17th. Michael Jordan. That other little cute actor guy. Forget his name all the time. Lots of people. Lots of good peeps, Ginger. So hello to everyone in the live chat. Please smash that like. You guys know that it helps me so much in the algorithm. And if you can, hit that subscribe. Let's see if we can get to 45,000 subscribers by my 45th birthday, which is February 17th. Is that possible? I don't know. We're a few thousands away. I don't even know what my current subscriber count is at right now. I know we're headed to 50K, but I know we're still a ways away from 45K. So maybe we can get 45,000 by my 45th birthday. Hey, producer might be eating your plant. I know. Ugh, kitties. We got her away from it now. So hopefully she's not. And good thing that we research our plants before we get them to make sure they're not toxic for cats, even though they will definitely still probably barf if they eat them. So yes, you guys, hopefully you're doing well. If you want to support the channel further, you can always do what Kate Ann did here and become a member of the channel, where you can get exclusive bonus content, including members only lives. You can also get that with Patreon. Links for both of those, if you're interested in joining, are in the description of this video. Or you can send a super chat while we're live, or hit me up on the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, if you so choose. So I hope everyone's having a good week. I did not go live yesterday. Yesterday I was organizing and going through boxes, even though we moved into this house now, 2 years ago or something. I still have so many boxes that were just in the garage, and I'm like, I'll get to them later. And they're full of like fun, nostalgic stuff. So I was reading old notes from friends and old love letters and looking at old pictures and finding, you guys know I like to digitize my tapes and things. So I have who do I go through again? I can't remember. But I like to do that, and then I want to ultimately put more of that kind of like nostalgic stuff on my Joleen Vlogs channel, which I've been kind of absent from for a while. But I would like to transition the nostalgic stuff over there, because I love following nostalgic Instagram accounts and YouTube channels from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. It just, right now, it feeds my heart with joy. So found some old magazines, just so much good nostalgia. Yes, I went down memory lane, Otter. Kristen, thank you. Great way to put it. Hit the like. It's the same as a virtual high five. It really is, you guys. And I did reach out to you guys on the community tab and I had a poll asking if we should talk more about the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni lawsuit and situation, because I fell into, just like everybody, I mean, when we have talked about it, we've talked about how it just is all over our algorithms, and it is a very interesting story. And there's interesting elements, and I think it just speaks to so many different things within our society, and public opinion, and the he said she said of it all, and workplace harassment or no workplace harassment, and do we believe people when they come forward, and can you separate the the person and them being like a horrible person and still say that they could have in fact been harassed? Or can you separate, like in this case, can you separate, or do you think it just, that's more reason for it? And I want to have those discussions and kind of also find the comedy in it. But can you separate, or are they together, the fact that you have someone who has went and accused, being Blake Lively, not somebody, Blake Lively accused Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment in the workplace, all while Justin Baldoni is like, no, I never did this. Here's a website, which he put up with like, holy crap, so much proof, as they would say, and I only do this because I don't even know why I did that. It's just, it's out there, because things, well, I guess with text messages and things can be misinterpreted, but can you separate that? Well, Justin Baldoni saying, no, I never sexually harassed her, and really she's using this and saying I did this to tear me down as a person, as a man, and get me off this project, because her and her husband want This Ends With Us, and they want to make the future movies, because this was a movie that was made for what did they say? It was like 25 million or something, and ended up making like 300 or 350 million dollars. So is this a story of David versus Goliath? Or did Blake Lively and her husband, are they assholes that went and were trying to take this project from Wayfarer Studios and the production company and Justin Baldoni and his partners? But also, could Blake Lively also feel that she was sexually harassed and feel uncomfortable in these situations? And so there's so much that I've been just reading and watching, and it's in the court of public opinion right now. I'll say Blake Lively is screwed. People are adamant. They are very much, I think Long Crime did a poll while they were live, and it was like 96% of people are like, Justin Baldoni, justice for Justin Baldoni. They don't believe a word Blake Lively is saying, which is, I mean, that's not looking good for these two that want this to be apologies, guys. I should have turned off my sound on my phone. Sorry, guys. For these two people who want there to be a jury to decide these lawsuits. And if you already are having so many issues trial, because I think the judge said he was going to move up the trial, but he had put it at like, next year, like not even March 2025, March 2026, which is a crazy far amount of time for more information to be shared, which is why Blake Lively, I think, and Ryan Reynolds wanted the gag order. Now, according to Blake's camp, there is information that hasn't even come out yet that is damning to Justin Baldoni's case. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has an entire website, which I was checking out all weekend, and listing, from what he says are Blake cherry picking text messages and putting it in the original civil lawsuit or civil rights lawsuit, or however I'm not the Emily D. Baker on this, okay? But that she was cherry picking, and he's like, oh, well, here's the full conversation. But allegedly according to Blake's camp, there are more, videos that could come out, more texts, more she's claiming that there is more that, yes, it's so much, Kara. This case is so much. I am really trying to reserve my judgment, not my judgment, because I'm going to judge, because I give opinions and commentary. That would be disingenuous for me to say. I'm not going to judge. I'm going to reserve saying for sure who I think is guilty and who is, or who's telling the truth or who's not, until we see all of the evidence put forward. Because just like we saw with this case early on, when Blake dropped when the New York Times story came out, which that's a whole other mess, and then all regarding Blake's sexual harassment claims and lawsuit, people were just so team Blake to the point where Justin Baldoni, he lost, he was with William Morris Agency, and people were like, F this guy, I'm out. Then Justin Baldoni comes out with his PR team, his crisis PR team. They all have them. They're, and his own lawyers, and they start dropping all of this information that is now on his website. And then public opinion quickly was like, well, fuck Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds too. So it's crazy. Are you guys, I'm honestly curious about this because I've seen so many people, the last couple times we've talked about it, people are like, Joleen, you're an idiot. How can you can't just believe women? But I'm seriously, just because I wasn't like, team Justin all the way. I love him. He's such a nice guy. Like, I'm sure he's a lovely person. I don't know him, and I don't know Blake Lively. I just know the history of women coming forward with complaints of sexual harassment and abuse within the workplace or other places. And we know how many times, they are attacked for that, or they, face repercussions just for coming forward, or retaliation, like Blake Lively put in her, her, when she came back after the writer's strike with her 17 things, she was like, no retaliation for this. Is anyone in this chat genuinely open to the possibility that what Blake Lively's team and attorneys, what they could come out with, that they haven't yet, could sway your opinion to maybe to that I don't necessarily say to her side, because I think there's multiple issues that aren't necessarily, we don't know for sure if they're related. It doesn't look good, when it appears that someone was trying to take something from someone else, someone who, just from looking at it further, a couple being Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, having a little more power in Hollywood. And by a little, I mean probably a lot more power than someone like Justin Baldoni. And then you add sexual harassment into that, and people can come to the conclusion from all of this through some of the things that Justin Baldoni has shared in the conversations that they had in these text messages, that maybe this claim of sexual harassment was just used as a way to defame him in order to get him off the project ultimately going forward, and that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively could take this over. But are you open to the fact that there could be evidence that's brought forward that proves that Blake Lively did in fact feel sexual harassment in the workplace, did not feel comfortable? And then it just so happens they also wanted to take his movie, because two things can be true at once. I'm not saying they are. And we can get into it on like a separate live we'll devote to Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. But it doesn't really seem like people are, it seems like people are just like, justice for Justin, F you. People are so invested. And I'm not saying that's a wrong thing, so don't think I'm out here going like, oh, dummies. No, I think people have really, because I caught myself while reading through all the things, getting like, oh, I know that feeling of being like the smaller fish and the bigger fish trying to eat me up. You know what I mean? And just, being in LA myself, for as long as I was in projects I worked on, it is all about, who's a moneymaker, who has more heat on them. And when you don't have that kind of pull, you don't have the big representatives, you don't have the same star currency as someone else. It can feel like it can be very overwhelming. And I myself, just in my husband and I, in our experience, when we actually lived in LA, in West Hollywood, we had projects stolen from us. But But the comedian that stole a particular project of ours, he had representation. We didn't have representation at the time. I think we both had like commercial agents or something. We didn't have any representation. We didn't have any management. Now I have a manager, so I could go to her, and she could help me with those things. But we didn't have anything to back us. So he was able to take our show, our idea, and make it. I think he put it on Amazon, something like that. And we have, messages showing he was on our show that we did, and that he was so interested in that show, and then he took that show and sold it and made it, and we were heartbroken because this was a show that we were really looking to grow. It was a live show that we would have loved to ourselves take to a network or a streaming service, but unfortunately we didn't have the pull and we didn't have the strength. So long story short, I get that aspect of how dirty LA and Hollywood can be, and how people, it can seem like a lot of these people don't have morals, and they'll just like steal your shit. And as like a creative in anything you do, it's so hurtful because you put so much time and you watch someone steal your whole premise, your whole show, your whole everything, and then go make money off it while you're literally just trying to build it up because you don't have that much power in your corner to have it made yet, if that makes any sense here, you guys. So I want to thank you, Kara. It's a story. I mean, I think a lot of people in LA have that same story, and it's hard because the guy that stole it is on a lot of TV shows now, and he has quite a successful little acting career. And so sometimes I'm watching a show I really like, and I'm like, and my husband, my husband Chell, I believe he messaged him, reached out to him, and the guy never responded and just act like we don't exist. One time we were supposed to be on a stand-up show together after the fact, and I just told the booker, I'm like, I don't want to do it with this guy because it was pretty soon after. And when I told the situation, the booker of the stand-up show was like, all right, we won't have him on the show. And I'm like, really? He's got way more credits, and he's, he has a higher entertainment currency than I do, as far as, Hollywood goes and pull. So I get that aspect. Thank you, Evelyn, for the super chat. Says, I say one thing is certain from a superficial view of the case. Egos, yes. Egos, Evelyn. 100%. So many damn egos. Thank you, Kelly Sandyford, for the super chat. You guys are so sweet and kind, and I appreciate your generosity there. So let me get into the chat. So I guess my initial question was, are you guys open to the fact that there could be evidence that comes forth during the trial from Blake's camp that could sway you in another way, or could make you see maybe the sexual harassment side of it? Or are you guys like, no, it's freaking donezo. We read through Justin's stuff. There's no way she can come out of this. That's what I'm really curious about, because it seems like a lot of people are just, I think a lot of people are personalizing this, and I can see it. I mean, I myself just told you how I kind of personalized it too. Like, oh, I know that feeling of someone stealing your fucking work, DC says, I would suggest just sticking to the legal filings. They'll be more accurate than any news story about this. I mean, that is a good tip. Jess says, I've listened to 2 videos from Emily D. Baker that were both 7. I know, I listened to those same Emily D. Baker videos, and I see that like Nick Vile's getting a lot of heat because his show is going very much, or people are saying that it's, going more in the Team Blake way, and you do not see a lot of Team Blakers. And it almost seems like, a social media death sentence to even question that, which I think is crazy too, that the questions can't be asked. And that you can't even stay kind of like, I'm going to wait to the trial. I'll have opinions and stuff, but I'm going to wait to completely like condemn and be like, you're done, you're dead to me. Until we see everything Blake's team has to show. I think that's what was so different in the Depp versus Heard. When I started talking about that, and I was, doing little parodies of the judges and Heard and all the stuff. It was all, they were already on the stand. They were already on trial. They were both testifying, which I know we're not going to see this because apparently it's a federal court, and you don't see federal court the same way we won't ever see the Diddy trial, which is unfortunate. I'm sure Blake and Justin Baldoni are happy, or maybe just Blake's happy. I don't know. Maybe Justin Baldoni wanted it to be seen in court, so it will not be televised. But the difference is we got to see them both kind of give their case. We got to see Amber Heard and we got to see Johnny Depp. And so you could watch and you can go, oh, okay, I see, okay, and you could have opinions while it was happening. Not that there wasn't any like social media bot interference. We know that, PR. What the craziest thing about all this is how the PR industry, and I don't want to say is being exposed because that's how it's always worked, but how a lot of us, even myself, I freaking didn't even I know people in PR. I have and I still was like, damn, they talk like that. They really can just like take each other down. That is crazy. And I don't know why I wasn't just like, oh yeah, it seems normal. I guess just thinking of it from like a normal person, I'm like, wow, holy shit. And your sister works here and you're over here. And it's scary, the amount of information that's fed to us. We've talked about this before within algorithms and how, my algorithms will be different from your algorithm. My algorithm's going to tell me I'm right and your algorithm's going to tell me you're right. Well, then how do we ever get on the same page of things? Similar to how strong these PR agencies and these people that come in to help their actor, actress, or star celebrity, how much they can change public opinion and how much they actually do. Max says, I cannot listen to things for another year. Let us judge. Yes, move it up. Yes, Mac. I don't want to listen to this shit. Come on. I cannot wait. I don't think they've given a date yet. But 2026 March, this is too long. Okay, we're already dealing with enough in 2025 in the US of A over here. We cannot be having this nonstop. Like, let's get the trial going. And even though we can't watch the trial, we can at least, read the court transcripts and, hear from the reporters inside the trial, people covering it. Dreadful Ruby says, if Blake is lying, just how detrimental this will be for victims going forward can't be understated. We believe women, and when powerful women lies, we hold them accountable. Always open to new info. That is one of the things that I've really struggled with covering this case, because I know firsthand, all of us women know firsthand how difficult it is for women to come forward as it is when there's harassment in the workplace or sexual assault, sexual abuse, and how much our characters are torn apart. Our character is torn apart, and how, everybody wants this idea of the perfect victim. They're like, but I heard she was a slut. And you're like, she could have had sex with as many people as she wanted to. In this situation, if we're talking about SA, if she didn't want it with that guy and he took it, her previous sexual experience holds no weight here. But we see that happen. We see women getting torn down. And we see how hard it is. And that narrative that is going to be so fucking dangerous. If Blake Lively is lying, it's going to be so dangerous, because there is an overarching, bigger issue here. And it's that it just adds another name for people to go, well, women lie. Look at Blake Lively. For women to then not be believed, for that narrative to get spun. And I fear in 2025, we're already heading in a way where, taking women's rights away, their bodily autonomy, Project 2025, read it, know it. It tells you all right there what they think of you, what they think of us, and how hard women have fought for so long. So it might seem silly because you're like, well, it's just some actress lady, some spoiled Nepo baby actress. No, it's going to have bigger ramifications. It's going to have a bigger ripple effect. And that's the part as a feminist that I don't like at all. That this can then be used as a talking point. But at this point, what can't? And if that does happen, you can easily, if they go, well, what about this? Well, I can name, a million men who are actual assaulters, through time. Me and my husband were talking about that, because I'm like, it just sucks, because people are going to, if it comes out that, she is lying and none of this stuff happened and the jury finds it, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to believe women. And now men are going to go, well, what about Blake Lively? What about that? Because I think everyone thinks, instead of actually saying, hey, there is a 98% chance that so there's two things here. there's this scary guy in the closet now, or guy, genderless in the closet person. My analogy here sucks. But now the boogeyman is women who lie on men. And now you see even women being like, oh, this is my biggest fear, is that someone is going to lie. You know, a woman's going to lie about my husband, my brother, my sons. And the probability of that is so small compared to the probability that something will actually happen, unfortunately, to women and a woman, or your daughter or your friend or your sister or your mother, if that makes any sense. But we're really I think under the patriarchy, we're all like, oh my God, a woman can lie? Hell yeah, we can do everything. That's what feminism is. Equality. Now, I don't advocate for lying about sexual harassment, if that's what's going on here, SA or those things. But the same way men can assault, the same way some women, I guess, can lie about that assault. You know what I mean? But I think if you look at the percentages, you look at the number, you will see that unfortunately for women, there's a much larger chance that we are actually going to be harassed or assaulted than any of us are going to go, I think I'm going to go lie about him. Because that doesn't happen willy-nilly. As much as Blake Lively might be looking like a whole monster to some people, most women that know healthy, the majority of women, healthy women, would never do that. And I hate to even have to say that. But again, the probability is that women are going to get harassed and assaulted far more than men are going to get falsely accused. But now it's like, oh, the men might be accused. And I'm not trying to play it down to where, if in fact we find out that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds did concoct this to steal Justin's project just to make more money and be, you know, money hoarders like Elon Musk, I feel horrible for Justin Baldoni. You know, no one deserves that, because there's an effect. It affects his wife. It affects his children. It affects his ability to make money. But it's just such an interesting story, because there's so many layers. And I am curious if you guys are thinking along the same lines as I am. As I watch this, I just want to be like, oh God, no. Oh, what? And just what, you know, what the larger picture is going to look like the more these kind of cases come out. And now I see they're trying to vilify Taylor Swift for being friends with Blake Lively. And some people are saying Taylor Swift pulled away. Taylor Swift herself, I don't think, has said anything about it, but leave Taylor alone. Let's just leave Taylor alone. Okay. It's looking hella sus now that we're going after, you know, the feminist pop star, the childless cat lady. Maybe if you hate Blake Lively, maybe Taylor has a bad taste in friends here and there. We've all been there. Okay. But don't come for Taylor. She hasn't done anything that we know of yet. So please stop it. Stop it. Chickenhead, thank you for the super chat. Says, I am open until the courts do and the comments are entered. So you're open to both sides. Okay. So that is like, you know, it's refreshing to hear that people are open to both sides. Kara says, as fascinating as the story is, it's not what happened to actresses earlier. Yes. And then I don't want it to be a thing where I've already heard people including this with Me Too. See what happened? How many people in Me Too then were like that? No, we're not doing that. We're not taking away from a woman's progress because allegedly maybe one woman might be lying. We're not going to be like, oh yeah, Blake, go ahead if she is in fact lying. You know what I mean? We're not going to be like, get it, girl, take them down. We don't care. No, we do care. But you're also not going to take down a whole movement of women in all kinds of, you know, facets, and not just in the entertainment business, and all kinds of businesses, and how much they were able to expose just how dangerous it is out there for women. I mean, do you not watch Dateline? I always ask people that. Do you not watch Dateline? Men are afraid of women laughing at them. Women are afraid of men murdering them. Like, there's a big difference in how we're going to react here. But the reaction, I think, under the patriarchy is very much like, but what about the few men who will get lied on? Well, that's not right either. But let's not pretend like that's the majority and that's what's happening here. So then it turns into, in the wrong hands, this presidency and government, that women lie and they can use that against women to the point where we're with, you need 5 guys to witness this harassment. Like, it can be really, really dangerous. Dreadful Ruby says, my TikTok algorithm is all animals, reality TV, and food. TikTok was so easily curatable. Well, I'm glad to see that. Otter says, I'm already over it, to be honest. Jess says, I agree with Dreadful Ruby. Shine says, did you watch the movie yet, Jolene? I thought it was really good. Oh, you mean the Nightline? Whatever Nightline is called now, Nightline, but they have their special. I did watch it. But oh no, the movie, it ends with us. See, I forget there's a damn movie. I haven't watched the movie, but at first, when we first started talking about this, I'm like, now it makes me not even want to watch the movie, but now I want to watch the movie. Oh my goodness. Angela says sexual harassment has to do with a power imbalance, and Baldoni never had the power. I think that is an important thing that I've heard pop up quite a bit. But could you argue that he had the power and that he's her boss, he's her director, it's going through his production company? Or are you saying Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have way too much, they supersede that, despite him being the director, despite all that? I mean, look what they were able to get away with, allegedly, through the texts and things that Justin Baldoni showed, with getting their demands met, so I can see it. I can see some people, though, arguing, Angela, I see what you're saying 100%, but I can see some people arguing, well, but she wasn't in charge of the movie, even though it looks like they were trying to be in charge of the movie. And she was like, give me the dailies. And just so you know, that's not how it works. That you can just like ask for the dailies like that. That's not how it works. So, some people might argue that, she wasn't, even though she's a part of this power couple, it still doesn't 100%, as far as workplace goes, she's still not the boss. She's still not the boss, applesauce, as Judge Judy would say. Kara says, thank you for saying that, Jolene. That's how I feel. I was just wondering if other women feel that way, because I feel torn. Obviously you never want someone to be on the receiving end of allegations that ruin their life and ruin their livelihood. And being the daughter of a Teamster and being someone who is always wants to, I don't trust rich people as it is. But fight for like the little guy, I guess. It is hard because you get conflicted because you see what could possibly be a takedown by these two Hollywood powerhouses. And you hear that term just so much, David versus Goliath, regarding this case. So I think a lot of us see it like that. And I think a lot of people, then their heart really breaks for Justin Baldoni. So as much as I don't want fake allegations, I also don't want this to start something, open up something that is going to go backwards in a movement that women have worked so hard to push forward. And just like, here's how it really is for us in the workplace. Here's how sexual harassment and sexual abuse, here's how rampant it is, unfortunately. Here's how much this actually happens. And we can't say anything because we'll get retaliation, or you'll never work again. Or you're scared. There's just so many reasons. So I think Me Too was so important. And I see already even people covering this, trying to kind of taint that aspect and the importance of that. So I think it's always a good idea to look at everything very critically and to have a critical eye. And I myself have to do that too. I can't just err on the side of always like the ladies telling the truth. You know what I mean? I want to believe women. I hear women. That's just who I am by nature, but I'm also not someone who is void of morality and decency where I would just be like, I don't even care if that dick was lied on. If he didn't do these things and that comes out, and through their trial and all these things and the more, and Blake Lively isn't able to, her kind of team, I guess, isn't able to disprove or show us anything that, or the jury, but even in the court of public opinion, then that's what it is, and then Blake Lively would fall into that just unfortunate category that I wish never existed, that people lie on other people like that, because it really does hurt people who have been through it. So Chickenhead, thank you for the super chat. Chickenhead, the percentage of women lying is really, truly low. It's so low. It's so low because most women would never put yourself through that. The stuff you have to go through when you come forward about harassment or sexual assault or any of that thing, any of those things against men, it's often dehumanizing. It's embarrassing. It's scary. It's all the bad things. You're basically on trial as the person going, no, this happened to me. They're like, oh yeah, well, prove to me that you're not, like, you didn't ask for it, that you didn't misinterpret what he was doing. Prove to me that you're not the problem. And you're like, whoa. DC says, I don't think all social media outlets dredging up old interviews to paint her as a rude girl is relevant to the case whatsoever. It's disappointing. Thank you for saying that, DC. I agree. Blake Lively can be, if maybe she's a mean girl, maybe she's a bitch, I don't know. But she can be a bitch and be a mean girl and still get sexually harassed and still feel uncomfortable in the workplace. Same for me, same for you, same for all of us. You don't have to be the perfect victim. You don't have to be super, like, this is ridiculous at this point. So to pull that stuff up, and that's what makes you look at the PR people. Now, the PR people are saying, on Baldoni's side, they're like, no, that was organic. Like, it was how she was interviewing and how she was reacting and how she was acting during the movie's promotion, that people just picked up on it. And then, other people and Blake Lively's team, obviously, they were like, there was a definite smear campaign. And then they were able to get a hold of Justin Baldoni's publicist of her phone, because she left you guys know the story with Stephanie and Jen, and her phone was allegedly given to Blake Lively's camp once she allegedly once she left, or once they she wasn't going to work there anymore, which is so cuckoo bananas that these PR people are like, oh, has there been a PR show? I feel like this public relations, like Hollywood public relations, I feel like I've seen that show in the past, but that would be a cutthroat Ryan Murphy show to make, because this is crazy. Men say not all men until it's about women. Oh, interesting, Lisa. Shirley says, Jolene, here is why I am looking at Blake's side eye. Okay. If Justin did assault her, well, I think she said harass, not assault. Why didn't she go to the proper legal channels to report it, like HR? Well, she did. So they're saying she did. Instead of going to the New York Times. I mean, she did make these claims before that story and before the New York Times. So technically, she did voice her concerns. She did lay out, like, here's the changes I need to be made on set to feel comfortable, and I don't want retaliation. So she did. She didn't go to the police, but she was talking about workplace harassment. So I think if it was like sexual assault, yes, then she would have went to the police. But with workplace harassment, there is, you usually, I think you usually go through your employer, HR, you go that route. Witness says, is he at least a human dude? Because yikes, the fantastic and mysterious stuff is crazy. Well, the text messages, as I was reading through the text messages between both Blake and Justin, I'm like, oh, it's cringe, but it's actor cringe. I feel like that's how, like, LA actors talk to each other. It's weird. And they always think they're just making the most magic, it's magic and yummy and, so it shows that they did seem to have, pretty good working relationship in the beginning. They were excited to work together. Blake texts his wife, Justin texts Ryan Reynolds. They both text each other like, oh yeah, you're cool. And Ryan Reynolds like, my wife is a genius. She's the smartest person to ever smart. Blake Lively is the best, which you would want your husband to do that. But I will say some of the stuff you're like, okay, calm down a little bit, okay? Because hype man husband chill, obviously he's hype man husband chill. But I'm like, okay. She's the best. Yes, she's super great. She's super great, and she's all yours. Anna says, I just don't think someone this closely associated to Taylor Swift, who famously fought and rightfully won a very important sexual assault case, would lie about something of this magnitude. Well, don't tell Candace Owens that, because Candace Owens is out there saying Taylor Swift lied, and the real victim in all this is what's his nuts. Who Taylor Swift went up against. What's his name, you guys? I forget his name already. So already, see, I see this shit happening, and I see people who normally wouldn't watch or listen to Candace Owens and don't remember all the things she has said that has so negatively impacted women and the women's movement. Going, yes, but then she's smart. Candace Owens is smart, so she drops in these little Scooter McGavin, whatever his name is. Now you'll see videos with Candace Owens because she's making buku skrilla, follow the money, baby. She's making all the money. Now she's like, that's what Taylor Swift did to Scooter McDumbfuck, whatever that guy's name is she screwed him out of the money and the songs because her daddy is a business, in the whatever her dad. I don't even remember what Taylor Swift, but he's in the business. And it's like, oh, here we go. And then it just starts the snowball effect of like, see, all the women suck. And all the women who stick up for women or stick up for themselves or are considered feminists or childless or child-free, I should say, and cat ladies, they're all evil and they're here to take down the men and the married women. And you're like, whoa. Oh, it even scares me. And I'm like, but I'm kind of one of them. Only I'm married, but I am child-free. I do have fur babies, but are they going to get me too? And you're not going to make me scared of Taylor Swift. Okay. I'm far more scared of Candace Owens, but I realize that everyone's just like, oh, Candace Owens is doing such great work. I'm like, okay. Beach says, bottom line, something made her uncomfy and she went to Sony and HR. She did. She went. You're right. DGF smashed like, yes, please. Dreadful says, I think too that women/victims will be less likely to come forward, less important, but it will, also make people in the industry hesitant to take on projects at all. And I hope that's not the case, but it could. It could. Red Wolf says, I'm usually on the woman's side, but this case I'm thinking differently. And I don't blame you. There's a lot of sus. You literally, I tend to be like, okay, the people who are going to show it all, mention it all, like Bethany. And he's like, I'll show all the text. If that, in fact, is all the text messages and all the, I'll show it all. I'm like, people that will show it all usually don't have much to hide, but the people who aren't going to show it all. But then you could argue, well, maybe they don't want it decided in the court of public opinion. They want it decided in the courts. But then you could also argue, but allegedly Taylor Swift went, to the New York Times, and the metadata showing that the New York Times had this story and had this information far before they were admitting to have this information. BTW, Christina Coca, our lovely friend Christina Coca, did a wonderful video explaining this newsroom process and the New York Times and what she thinks, being a journalist who has worked in pretty much every newsroom, and how that actually works when stories are put out. So if one of my mods is here and doesn't mind dropping Christina Coca's channel in the live chat, I can also link it in the description. She did a very informative video about this. Evelyn says, the far right has tried to vilify Taylor Swift for years. Yeah, and Candace Owens it's disgusting because she's using this situation with Justin Baldoni, where he very much could be the victim of a Hollywood power couple coming in and trying to ruin him and steal his project. But she's using that as a chance to go, yeah, and also Taylor Swift. What did Taylor do? What'd she do? Because Blake mentioned her in a text and says, oh, I'm the Khaleesi. Well, I'll tell you something. I guarantee that Taylor Swift did not like being called a dragon for Blake, because I'm sure Taylor was like, let's be real here. It goes Tay, Blay Blay, okay? Or maybe they, they're such good friends, they're on the same level, but the way she described it in those text messages to Justin Baldoni when she was talking about the rewrites of the rooftop scene of the script or whatever, she's like, Ryan and Taylor advocate for themselves, and I'm like the Khaleesi and they're my dragons. I'm like, I don't think Taylor's anyone's dragon. Taylor is like her own damn thing. And Taylor has really been she's been a young woman who is kind of now for her generation on the forefront of like woman forward music and feminism and all these things. So you could see why the far right would want to take her ass down. Graphic says, the only thing I don't get, if Blake Lively's lying that the author Colleen Hoover would side, or why would the author Colleen Hoover side with her? I know of her from working with other authors in the genre. I think Baldoni's side is kind of like, well, of course they're going to pick Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds because they come to the table with more star power, more money, more backing. Look how quickly Justin Baldoni was dropped from his management company, which is a really big, I keep wanting to say Williams Sonoma, but you know what I'm talking about. So there's like CAA, there's some really big management companies. If you're managed by them, you are getting the gigs. If you're not the first picked. If you listen at the like the Oscars, the Golden Globes, you listen to when the stars were winning, thank their management companies, you're going to hear that management company that dropped Justin Baldoni and that manages, I believe, Ryan Reynolds. You're going to hear CAA. There's certain ones you're going to hear constantly because they got it like that. Beach says she was already getting bad press when the movie came out before this. They had to know people could call her a liar. You would think, but sometimes Hollywood and people in Hollywood, we know that these like celebrities, these stars, they're so far removed from reality when you're put on such a pedestal that you forget like, oh yeah, you just think, no, it's going to work out for me. Because it has to, because I'm a star. Rebecca says their argument for women lying is that they lie to ruin the man's life. Null and void. Just ask our president. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't necessarily mean, yeah, Justin Baldoni's life would be over because we got a whole ass president who was found liable by a jury. And that's, you can Google that. It's the AP has that there. People always are like, there's no proof, Joleen. No, there's proof. He was found liable by a jury of his peers for sexual assault, and then was accused by, I can't even count, so 20, 30, 40, I don't know if it's like 26, 32 women now, who knows, and somehow he still got to be president again. So the patriarchy is still working on your side, Justin. If anything, I think Justin will be able to still work and all these things, but that still doesn't mean that someone should claim something that's not true if that is what's happening. Sweet C says, I haven't really listened to any of it, to be honest, but I also don't think I've ever watched anything with any of these people. I had no idea, no offense, all offense to Justin Baldoni, who he was before. Then when people started saying, oh, he was in Jane the Virgin, all this, I was like, oh, those are shows I know of. Okay. The Young and the Restless. Okay. Yes. I watched that back in the day. And then with Blake Lively, I watched a little bit of Gossip Girl. I think maybe I've seen Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I can't remember. Was she a Green Goblin or something in a superhero movie? Never watched it. So it was never, for me, it's like, not like I was fans of either. No offense to either of them. I just, was like, oh yeah, I know that's Blake Lively. And with Justin Baldoni, I was like, I don't know who that man is. I'm so sorry to that man. And he's done a lot of stuff. I just didn't know who he was. And that's just my own, But again, that could also be add to their claim that, Ryan and Blake are like household names and Justin isn't. So you take that with these kind of accusations and they do then have more power. Before I really was like looking into the case, I'm like, well, maybe Justin Baldoni is a bigger deal and I just don't know about him. And that's just my own ignorance. And he does have a production company. And that's something we talked about previously, but it does look like, his production company has made some, great stuff, but still his star power and the things he's been involved with kind of in like the currency within Hollywood pale in comparison to Ryan and Blake. Max says Ryan Bailey did a very good podcast on this. Oh, he did? How are we on this? Me and Ryan Bailey, we see each other. We're on the same wavelength. I got to invite him over here. He, again, because we love having Rand Bailey. He also was trying to see both sides. He also said there's an important to wait. I think so. I just see this and I get why people want to jump on this. It is to jump on the side of Justin Baldoni. You know, it can pull on your heartstrings when you think of it like a David versus Goliath. It also is like a moneymaker. People are, if you are willing to go full Baldoni, cha-ching, you know, as a content creator, because people are going to come over because people, 96% of people are like, fuck yeah, he's been done wrong. So I don't blame those people for being like, I want to listen to someone agree and be like, hell yeah, the same things that they're thinking of how he's been done wrong, you know? But I do think sometimes it's a little much with it, where it's just like, it's a lot. It's like we could wait a little bit. I get people have opinions. You have every right to have an opinion in that, but we're not even at the trial part yet. That's what separates us from Depp versus Heard. It's like we're not even there yet. And I don't begrudge anyone for covering this and going hard in the paint. Is that the term I learned from basketball? Someone in the chat, tell me if I use that right. I don't begrudge them, because this business of, you know, content creation, you want more eyes on your stuff. You want more subscribers because that brings more ad revenue, you know? So obviously, but that I myself, with this case in particular, have an inner struggle, because I see things happen and I see things being said where I'm just like, ooh, this is, you know, Blake Lively can be a whole ass liar and she can be lying about this, and she totally can be, you know, but the stuff I see it then being said then about like women, see, we have to be careful. Women do this, and the references to Me Too and the Candace Owens getting involved, and people who have never historically really represented women or women's rights or women empowerment, people who support Trump, you know, and support Trump's idea or Elon Musk's idea or the people that he's putting in his cabinet idea of how women should be treated. Then I'm like, what's this really about? Do you really care that Justin Baldoni, could be being lied on and having his project stolen from him and being defamed? Or is it this, you know, another way to kind of tear down the rest of us? Because if Blake lies, that doesn't take away from the rest of, you know, women and their claims and in the future coming forward. That doesn't mean the rest of us are liars. But if you listen, when you listen to these people who cover it, you know, the big names and stuff, you hear, you know, reading between the lines, you're like, I see what you're doing. 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 You're JD Vance in this shit, and I don't like it. Witnesses, yep. If people only knew the trouble I've seen. Lucky I don't hate men, but equality's cool, you know. Let's see what else you guys are just killing it in the chat today. I'm sorry, you have so many comments. I want to read all of them. Sweet T says, Ryan and Jolene are nice. Other people on YouTube are nasty. Well, that's nice of you to call us nice. Thank you. Angela says, correct, 100%. Supersede that. Jess says, I agree, Sweet Tea. They are the best. You guys are such sweeties. Wipe the CDs. Such sweeties. Now, I will drag Tom Sandoval to hell and back, but that was, you know, 10 years in the making of him being pretty soon you're going to be like, maybe we should, I don't want it to get to the point where people are going to go, maybe we should take another look at that Tom Sandoval. Maybe he got a rough deal. He got a raw deal. Because I already hear people going, it's like Tom Sandoval. You know, I mean, hasn't he been through enough? No, he's been through literally nothing. He's gotten more opportunities than he ever had in his life. He destroyed a whole entire television show, and he has an inability to take any freaking responsibility. No. But then they start looking like, they start looking back like, well, maybe Jax Taylor wasn't that bad. No, this is a separate incident. This is between Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and Ryan Reynolds, Wayfair. We're not looking at the rest of the predators, okay? The rest of the asswipes out here. Dreadful says, I do think men sexually harass people of more power than them, though. That's another great, you guys are killing it in the chat today. That's the thing. Because it's similar to this. I like what you're saying here, Dreadful, because I see where you're going here. It's not unheard of for men to harass people who are, yes, have more power than them, have more privilege than them. 100%. I mean, you see people, ladies walking down the street, and they could be, I don't know where the hell they work or what they got, or, maybe they own the building, and then the guys out front are like, hey, bitch, hey, girl, say, cat con or something. And so 100%. And that's just like a dumb example. But I get what you're saying with that, and how they can. It's the same way that I hear people going, Justin Baldoni is so nice. And he seems really nice. I listen to the Man Enough podcast. I follow his co-host, his female co-host. I love her. I think she's great. And I listen to that stuff, and I'll get to bookmark that, my opinions on what he's kind of doing in his brand. My husband and I were talking about that. But people are like, there's no way someone that nice and being that nice to her would then go, have you heard of Ted Bundy? He was really nice to people. Like some of these SK serial killers and stuff, they were charming and nice. That's how they got their victims back. Yes, people can have and then Ted Bundy himself had a whole ass girlfriend who didn't even know he was doing that. So yes, you can be charming, and yes, you can at first come off great, and then you can and I'm not saying that's Justin Baldoni, but let's not pretend, well, he just seems lovely. Well, sometimes, unfortunately, the lovely guys are the least lovely. And again, I'm not saying that is Justin Baldoni, but that leads me into my next discussion I want to have with you guys regarding this. You guys have so many good comments, though. What Ryan said what to? Why are we on the same, Ryan? Why are you in my brain? Get out of my brain. What did he say that was the same? Ryan said, yes, it's actor cringy. He knows, Ryan knows, because they're always like, it's magical. Everything you do is magical. It's like, you're acting. Okay. You're not saving lives. Like my husband, his coworkers, they work in a hospital. They're literally saving lives. Yes. Is art important? 100%. I'm an artist. I believe art is important. Comedy is important, but it's the same way comedians. You ever hear comedians circle jerk each other? Mostly dude comedians. And they're like, dude, we're like awesome. And we do jokes. And yes, comedy is very important, and people need to laugh, and it's a form of therapy and all those things. But let's not pretend we're going in and being a heart surgeon. Like we're saving Please have a little bit of humility, be a little humble, And I think actors sometimes are like, so just let me take a pass at that script. And as like a writer myself, I'm like, you're just going to take a pass at the script. Okay. Oh my God. I'd be like, we're just gonna take a pass at we're just gonna do a pass at the script. Oh my gosh. Osliger says, Jolene, a little suggestion, please. The skeleton in the background is positioned coming from your head. Oh, Skelbo Baggins? Yes, Skelbo Baggins. He's coming from your head left side, a little distracting. So I'm just looking for a place where Skelbo can fit in. He's my buddy. But if this is distracting, maybe I'll have to find a new place. Let me know if you guys have any. I tried to stand him up in the corner, but then he falls down. It's Scalwell. He does what he wants to do. Yes, Taylor should not be drawn into this. No. Let's see. So I believe Blake played on Colleen's past trauma. Well, initially, I went back into Colleen's social media, and she's like, she's my dream Lily, and they upped the age, I guess, because Lily, I haven't read, just like Blake Lively, I haven't read the book either, allegedly. So apparently they upped Lily's age or something. There's a younger version. I don't know. I got to see the damn movie, I guess. But I forget what on her past trauma with like abuse and stuff. Okay. With the allegations against Justin. Okay. That could be, because then we do see the exchange from Justin and Colleen, and how much respect it seemed that Justin really did have for this book and this project. And me, early on, I'm a smartass. I'm side-eye, and I'm like, okay, well, first of all, why does this guy want to make a DV movie, and why does he want to write it? Well, there's other writers, Jolene. And I also have to remember that my husband and I were talking about Justin Baldoni, his brand, So if we're talking about, brands, his brand has become this man enough, this, like fighting against toxic masculinity. His production company, Wayfair, I'm paraphrasing, but I believe they want to, tell stories and give opportunities to, marginalized groups, women, and those kind of things. Like they want to tell bigger stories the same way they did the documentary about Will Ferrell and the trans woman that used to be an SNL writer when they went on the road. I forget what that's called. I watched like a little bit of it, but I haven't finished it yet, but I forget the name of it. So they definitely want to tell certain kind of stories. He seems like, a sensitive guy. And that has now become like his brand. So under, the Man Enough, then there's a book and there's a podcast, and then there is this production company, and then you're going to pick projects that fall in that, because in Hollywood you live and die by your brand. You really do. And Blake's brand, I was thinking like, what is Blake Lively's brand? Well, fashion's a big part of her brand, being a Hollywood power couple, I guess, but then she has a liquor company, but they don't drink. And then so I don't know, but Justin Baldoni's brand seems pretty clear. I mean, she's like movie star. What is her? I don't know, whatever her brand is. But Justin Baldoni's brand is pretty clear. So that's why I think sometimes when you hear him talk, especially in the beginning, it was kind of like, ugh. He would say things, you're like, are you just saying that because that's your brand? But then I remember, this is what we do want from men. We want, during Me Too, it was a lot of women coming forward, obviously, and sharing their stories and hashtag Me Too and opening up that dialogue. And unfortunately, we have to continually show men like, this is how it is for us. We have to be like, stop talking for a minute so we can tell you how it is. Quit describing my experience. I'll describe it and you can describe yours. Okay, thank you. But we do want men to sit in that place and have these conversations about whether it be toxic masculinity or aggressive masculinity or whatever we're calling it these days. But the issue going on with masculinity needs to be talked about, because someone's got to talk about what happened to Mark Zuckerberg, why he's looking like a wannabe, broke down Logan Paul over here, just like, now you could talk shit on trans people, and I'm wearing a t-shirt, and maybe he's wearing some like pads under his t-shirt or something. I put my wife's maxi pads on my arms to make them look big. I'm a man. Now you can call people bitches. I won't fact check. I won't call you out because that's woke, and woke is dumb. And you're like, okay, Zuckerberg, you are a nerd. No offense, but be a nerd. Do nerd stuff. But even Zuckerberg's like, I better do a push-up before I have this big interview about Meta, whatever, and how you're just going to sell out to Daddy Trump, which is what you did, which fine, whatever. You sold out to Trump. Congratulations. So did the other fucking idiots, but here we are, just own that. But to have, this conversation about whatever's happening with masculinity right now, whatever's going on. And so it's refreshing to like, oh, Justin Baldoni, who easily himself you could look at him and be like, douche, because he's got like abs and he's pretty douche and he's got a man bun, douche. But then he cut the man bun off and you're like, I might listen to him. And so he's using his platform to raise awareness and have conversations with other men and other people about their experiences in life, because really the only way that we exact change or understanding or compassion or empathy is from listening to each other and, befriending each other and doing the things that the, Christian right pretend to do, pretend to say, but really what Jesus, what a big old Jesus wants us to do is, love your neighbor, be kind. My grandpa Wally used to say, introduce yourself. Everybody's got a story. And now that doesn't always go well if you have social anxiety or ADHD, because then you tell your story and immediately I'm like, I want to tell my story too. It's a whole thing. But what I'm saying is what Justin Baldoni is doing essentially is like what we want men to do. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to question his past. He doesn't have to look into that. He doesn't have to advocate for men to be vulnerable with each other. Because I will tell you, the internalized misogyny in me, I had to check myself before I wrecked myself while reading through the website and the text messages. I think Taylor, I'm paraphrasing, but she was like, and then Justin came in my trailer and cried for 3 minutes. I was like, what the fuck? Oh my God. And then I'm like, Jolene, how dare you laugh at this man? I can't help it. I'm a comedian. But how dare you? You want men to be able to show their emotions and feelings because when they don't, they kill us, So hello, I have to check myself. Like, it's not funny. Maybe he really, and we say, oh, we want little boys to be like vulnerable and be able to show their feelings and to be able to emote. I mean, that novel idea of having young boys emote is crazy. But we know that it's so dangerous when we shut down little boys and we don't embrace their feelings and we don't allow them to have feelings and we don't allow them to cry and we tell them to like suck it up and be a man. And then it just gets more and more toxic because you hold that in. And little boys and boys to men, ABC, BBD, everyone deserves to have feelings and to feel out. That is how you move on. That's how you process. That's how you don't build up resentment and toxicity inside your body that leads to Mark Zuckerberg, allegedly. So, or Elon Musk or Donald Trump, allegedly, or JD Vance. So I had to check myself and go, whoa, before you start judging this man for crying or being like, oh my God, lame, I know that I would walk into someone's trailer on set, and if we were close, I would immediately start crying if I felt comfortable with them. But I wouldn't be well, I mean, like, women are emotional, but it would be more accepted because it's like, well, she's a girl, she's a woman, and I would be like, I'm menstruating and perimenopausing and ADHDing. But I have to allow that for him. Now, some could argue that Justin Baldoni is just taking a woman's plight and this, these certain, what the right has now created as, this horrible word, this wokeness. You mean I care about other people and I want to exact change in the systems that don't work and don't allow for equality or opportunities for all? You fucking weirdo, you woke weirdo, you crybaby bitch, you snowflake. Like, don't start turning me on. But, you could argue that maybe he's using that and doing to make money, to profit off of it. But I see it as more of, he's really it seems more genuine that he wants to have these conversations. I just think some of us, myself included, look at it and sometimes you're like cringe, like, ugh. Oh, don't, not diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Don't say that. I don't want women to have a place to, let their tit juice out when their milk out after they've had babies. Disgusting. I don't want nursing rooms in the office. All right. I don't want paid family leave. I don't want a system that's been built on white men hiring other white men and not giving people who have just as much, if not more, freaking, experience and skills to be considered. I really think Trump has gotten people to think that DEI is like, hey, all right, what do we need? We're hiring pilots. Okay, let's brainstorm here, white guys. We're hiring pilots. All right, well, we got to do DEI. So we got to find a black pilot. Okay, I'm just going to go drive down to Target. I saw a black guy on the side of the street. Say, hey, guy, you're a black guy, right? Okay. Do you know how to fly a plane? No, I don't do that. I do something. I work in, I don't know, accounts payable. Well, whatever, you're black, get in here and we're going to put you in a plane and good luck. Hey, is that a lesbian? Hey, lesbian lady. Yeah. Do you know how to do heart surgery? I see we're at Michael's and you have a crochet needle. So you're getting here. That's what they think DEI is. Just not that we literally needed to create a system because white men were only hiring their other white male friends. And this goes for you too, white ladies. That's us. We're part of DEI. So when you sit there and go, what has DEI ever done? Google it, bitch. Google it. You will see that a lot of things, workers' rights and things that you're clearly taking for granted are included in that DEI hiring. And it is not about just giving people who aren't, educated and aren't qualified. Just like, any fuck, who's out there? What are you? What are you, Mexican? All right, I guess hop on in. Someone's gotta drive this bus. Do you have a driver's license? No, whatever. We got to have so many of you. Like, that's what they think it literally is, which is like, so yeah, we got to fill this lesbian quota. Yeah, we don't have enough. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. You don't know what you're doing. They just think, and they got people scared going, oh my God, are you a DEI hire? And it's like, bitch, everyone except for white men are DEI hires. Everybody. Also, look at everything that DEI has done. I feel like my grandpa Wally, who was a great guy, who was a railroad guy, and how hard, the railroad guys and people worked to get us like workers' rights and 40-hour work weeks and things like that. Just so many groups throughout history who have worked so hard are just looking down from heaven or wherever they are going, these idiots, these fucking idiots. And then you literally have white ladies on TikTok going, tell me one thing that it's done. Well, it got you there. It got right where you are, lady. You wouldn't even be considered, and you could be more than qualified than any of the people you were interviewing with. They only stepped in because there was no representation. They weren't allowing people that were just qualified, if not more qualified, an opportunity to even interview. It's insane. Now they're like calling it, you'll die hiring. It's like, first of all, I don't know. Have any of you ever worked in an office that had like a nursing station where women could go? And that's part of DEI, where you can go if you're like, breastfeeding and you have to pump. You can go in there and have a little bit of privacy. I worked in an office for a long time that had one of those. And I'll tell you, there's not always a lady who's pregnant or just had a kid or is currently breastfeeding. So sometimes all the ladies in the office, boobs are dry. Okay. And those I'm so pissed if they get rid of DEI, because I took the best naps of my life in those nursing rooms. Oh my God. Because they have reclining chairs. You close the door, you can lock it. And as long as you just kind of ask around, like, is anybody lactating? Anybody lactating? Okay, I'm going to go in the don't tell anybody. I was eating my Reese's peanut butter cups. I took a nap. I was on my phone playing my game, and no one can bother you because you're like, excuse me, I might be lactating in here. I'm not, but I could be. All right. So learn how to work the system to work for you. So even men who are like, how dare they have them places where their tits can leak and they can get a break. Well, maybe, sir, when no one else is there and no one's tits are leaking, you could take a little nap in there too. Bring a little blanket in there and you come out, and you can't ask me any questions. Don't ask me any questions. But seriously, I was so upset about that because you don't even know the joy of these lactation rooms. They're amazing. Sometimes you can have lactation rooms which have multiple chairs, and women are so cool and badass that your friends and like, come in with me, and you're like, okay. And then you're all just chilling at the lactation station. And then you're just like, Lala, can I get a little bit of my coffee? And now you want to take that away from us because stupid Mark Zuckerberg and that big Cheeto man, Trump, says DEI is wrong. Oh my God. It's not wrong. It is so right, especially for the lactation rooms. I'm telling you. See, Jace, if no woman is lactating, it just goes unused. An unused lactation room is a lonely lactation room. So I made it a point to use it. There are sometimes you need to get away from people. If it's for your own like sanity, I got to escape and I got to play Candy Crush and I might have to fart somewhere. Okay. So I'm just going to do it there. Okay. And eat Reese's peanut butter cups and not have people going, didn't you already have some Reese's today? Shut up, Pam in accounting. I wasn't talking to you. This isn't your body. You don't get to say what I put in my body. Okay. I'm going to eat Reese's peanut butter cups and toot in here and play Candy Crush all I want. All right. And maybe I'll call my mom. I'll call Nana and talk to her. Yes, we need a PMS and menopause. If you elect me as president, if this guy, hopefully when this guy is done in 4 years and doesn't change the Constitution so he can be a dictator, elect me as president. We will have PMS, menopause, and menopause. I'll even include the men. Okay, you can have a menopause room where you can go to and just man out. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have balls. Maybe you need to air out your balls. So you can just go in that room where you're not sexually harassing anyone and just let them breathe a little bit. Maybe they get a little, I don't know how that works. So I'm not going to discriminate. Let's see. Random stuff with Larissa says we had a lady that would go in one of our supply closets to pump. See, she shouldn't be by the bleach and all those products. We had a fire drill and she didn't hear it and we didn't realize she was in the closet. See, can we do? I mean, again, we literally do not care about women. We're like, we just want to tell them what to do with their bodies because she had the baby just like these people want, the Trumps want. You know, she had the baby. He doesn't really care. How many abortions did he pay for? You scare me again. Hi, my husband Chella's here. Joe, with your body.
Yeah. Could you stop using it seductively when you walk around the house?
I can't help it. I'm a walking seduction.
This is a new era, so I get to tell you what you get to do.
Oh, yeah. This is a new era. Husbands get to tell what. Go to the corner, Chow. Nope. No PS5.
Sorry.
No PS5. I love you.
Pizza or?
Nope.
Okay.
Go write down 5 nice things about me.
Okay.
And put
I'm gonna write into Ben Shapiro. He's not gonna like this.
Don't talk to Ben Shapiro. He's horrible. He's a horrible man. He's a horrible man. But yeah, you can't let women, like, she had the baby, she did the thing, now she's lactating, they're like, go buy the mops and the bleach. That's gonna be good for the baby's milk. Like, clearly you don't give a shit. No, she needs a lactation room. Jolene for president. Okay. Isn't he a gem? He's such a cutie. That's why I love that I've been having these conversations all weekend with Chell, just like, and then I'm thinking this, and he was just like, Jolene, talk about what you want to talk about on your channel. And it's okay. Like, I feel a sense of responsibility. I just do. I feel a sense of responsibility. I don't want to make the world worse for my fellow human and especially my fellow women, because I know how hard it is for us right now and how scared a lot of us are. Okay. And the ones who aren't scared, I don't know what to tell you. It's like the Ani DeFranco song. You know, if you're not scared, then you're just stupid. You don't care. How else can you react when you know something's so unfair? When the man of the hour can kill half the world in war, make them slave to a superpower, let them die poor. Yeah, I was locked into being my mother's daughter. I was just eating bread and water, thinking nothing ever changes, and I was shocked. So, yeah, Out of Range. That's the song. Out of Range. If you're not angry, then you're just stupid. You don't care. How else can you react when you know something's so unfair? It's the Aquarius in me. It's the justice seeker in me, and not social justice warrior, because you also ruined that term. And now you have to be like this. To be a social justice warrior, you got to be like, are you guys having fun? You better stop it. Now they've made every woman who wants. They got that one meme of that lady who's like, are you guys having fun? Well, you better not be. And you're just like, oh, God, damn it. Damn it. But these are things I think about. I don't just want to cover something because it's popular. Somebody came in there like, you just want to cover it because you see people getting big numbers. If that was the case, I would have covered it weeks ago when we were talking about. I would be on it. I would be like, fuck Blake Lively, fuck Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni is God. I love him. And I would be bawling my eyes out saying, he's the greatest. And he could be the greatest. But I just feel this ridiculous sense of responsibility that I wish I didn't feel, because who am I? Who cares? But I do. I don't know what that's called. It could be a conscience. I don't know. But I'm also worried about them getting rid of the lactation rooms. And I'm worried that people don't realize how magical they really are. HCMT says, so grateful that you're giving a voice to the single cat ladies. Oh, the single cat ladies. Oh, the single cat ladies. Yeah. Now put your cats up. Kara says, I'm a Taurus. I gotta look up why I'm like this. Well, probably all of our signs have that. But with ADHD and being an Aquarius, I like hit the justice lottery. I'm like interested in it. So yeah, took all the fun out of social justice with that one meme. Okay. Brooke, oh, your son's birthday. Aquarius season. Today's my son's birthday. Happy 25th. Oh, your car insurance will go down. That's so exciting. 25 seems like a lifetime ago. It seems like a lifetime ago. It's crazy. Thank you, Evelyn. You're a real one. I appreciate you. Cami says Chell should give courses to cis males and we'll charge them. We'll extra charge them. Side note, the Traders Talk video is ready on Peacock's YouTube. Yes, it is, you guys. And I am going to come back and do another, I don't know if today I'll do it, maybe tonight, but definitely tomorrow we'll talk. I got so much Trader stuff to talk about, you guys. Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot is coming back, and Sarah Michelle Gellar signed on. I'm dying. I am dying with excitement. I'm so excited. I may or may not be trying to finagle my way to find a way to become a writer on that show, but I need all the this and all the not. I need you to throw your heart at me, but not the way Elon Musk throws his heart, but throw all your good vibes at me because I have to submit something, and I don't have much time to submit it, and I don't really. I have like a 2% chance of even getting a call back, but it's like a freaking dream. It's like a freaking dream. I said, I don't care. I'm just going to, me and my writing partner, we're just going to submit. We're just going to see. You just never know.
I got a bunch
And
of tweets from guys with wraparound glasses that said you shouldn't treat me like that, and that we can get some truck nuts for my truck.
You got tweets from guys with wraparound glasses who told you I shouldn't treat you like that,
Yeah,
and they sent you pictures of truck nuts.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm shopping around, and I don't know if I should get maybe like, it's cold right now, so maybe like a small pair. It's like cold
Yeah,
outside.
get a really small pair of
Yeah,
truck
'cause
nuts.
It's cold.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's cold. And also go back in the corner.
And then there's ones with hair and without.
Oh God, you got ones that shave the balls and ones that don't. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, no actual heart throwing the way Elon Musk does. But yeah. So that's also why I've been a little MIA. MIA is because I have scripts that I'm working on that I have deadlines for that I'm like, oh, I gotta get it done. I gotta get it done. But this opportunity is one that's like, oh, I'm just so looking forward to the show even coming out, and to think I could even like submit anything to get considered is crazy. They will 100% pick people with far more experience than me, but you just never know. You gotta throw your hat in. Okay, Will Spike. I don't know anything. I don't know how they're gonna do it with Buffy back. I don't know how they're. I mean, obviously Angel can't age, so Angel, and with Spike. I mean, I think James, the actor, he could probably pull it off a little more. No shade to David Boreanaz, but it could be something within the story where maybe somehow Angel was able. I don't know if we're going to have him getting his soul back, or he's going to, or they're going to, I say we, like, we're all involved because we're all fans of the show. Or somehow they allowed Angel to age, or they'll have to do some serious after effects, some serious shit. So, how exciting for Freddie and Sarah. I know what you did last summer, and Buffy reboot. Well, Sarah Michelle Gellar had for a long time said, no, I'm not going to do that. We're going to leave it there, and then I think she said after she saw like the six, or not, or I don't know if she said the success, but like the reboots of like Sex and the City and stuff like that, it made her a little more open-minded. And I think there is probably a want, I would imagine, to kind of leave the Whedonverse behind a little bit, because Joss Whedon himself being such a toxic Mark Zuckerberg. I think we just don't even call him toxic males anymore. We just call him toxic Mark Zuckerbergs. Toxic Zuckerberg himself. It'll be interesting because they have, the director is a woman. I believe the two women writing the pilot are sisters. Are they sisters? Well, there's two women, I think, who, according to the Deadline article, this is all public knowledge. It's not like I know any insider secrets. There are two women writing the pilot, I believe. And then we have a woman director who's directed so many things. And so this could be just a whole... this could really be, I think it's going to be a fantastic reboot, no matter if I get hired on as a writer or not, but all the fingers crossed in the world, because it's like my favorite show of all time. And God, I could cry thinking about it, but I have to first finish the script that I'm going to submit to even be considered for this. And that, I wish I was like Diablo Cody, where she would write all these things, stories about the writing process. I would buy the books and things like, how does David Sedaris write? Or David Sedaris is like, I wake up every day at 10 a.m. and I sit at my typewriter, my computer. I'm like, damn, you can't have ADHD. That's crazy. Like every day you do it at that time. But huge success. And Diablo Cody, she pumps them out like this. And I wish that my brain worked like that. And I was just pumping out movies, TV shows like this. But that's, unfortunately, I'd have to start snorting my Vyvanse, I think, to get. And I've told my manager I'm willing to do that. No, don't snort your Vyvanse, you guys. Don't snort your Vyvanse. So thank you for the, you're never, they always come, you're not supposed to talk about things you want or things you haven't gotten or talk about auditions. Like, fuck that. Who cares? Talk about anything. Manifest. Put it out into the universe. I see myself writing for the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I see myself writing for the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And who knows? And either way, whoever gets the privilege, the joy, the opportunity to write, I wish them all the best, because I want that show to be so good and successful, because Buffy was a show that, one of those like life-shaping shows for me, my comfort show, the show I go to and I watch when I don't believe in anything anymore. I know I can always believe in Buffy. And I've now shared it with my 10-year-old niece. Not every season. I said, we got no 6, no 7. I don't think she's watched 1 through 4. And I was like, okay, I think we'll wait. Not that she hasn't probably snuck ahead and watched, but I want to be able to like have conversations with her about like the heavier seasons. But it's just a show, and the Buffyverse is just such, I think it's meant so much to so many people, which is why even more than 2 decades later, since the show had its series finale, people are still like just in love with it. I quote Buffy daily. I just, everything about it is beautiful and wonderful, and I love it. So let's see. Oh, start recording yourself, then have it typed out. Yes, your best. I am best. That's how I am too. I have to like go for a walk, and then I'm like, and I have my audio recorder, and then I'm like, okay. And that's how I write jokes too. I can't just sit down and write jokes for stand-up. I did that in the beginning, but now I've been in stand-up comedy since 2009, and I got to be moving my brain. I got to be, and then I'm like, oh, I think of this, and then I say it into my recorder. So anyway, you guys, thank you for having this conversation with me about, and we'll talk more about the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni stuff, and more of the specifics in the things that are happening, and the things that have come out, and when they move the case up. Obviously, it is a very important story in pop culture, and I appreciate you guys understanding my hesitance on covering it. And I also appreciate those of you who have shared your opinion with me, whether you're full like screw Blake Lively, or you're like, I'm open and I'm waiting, and I want to see what happens in the trial. I can't believe they're going to let this go to trial, but I feel like now they might have to. For Blake Lively's sake, she better have some more stuff, but she says she does, so we'll see. But thank you guys for having the conversation. Thank you to all my super chatters today: Kate Ann, Kelly, Sandy Ford, Evelyn, Chickenhead, PK, Dorkface Neely, and Christina. I missed it. I'm so sorry, Christina. I'm 38 minutes late on your super chat. Rylene, I gotta hit up Ryan Bailey. That's it. I have to message him and have him on and see if he wants to talk to me. Maybe I want to have Ryan Bailey on. We can talk about it and make fun of this whole situation. And then also, I was thinking of dropping the link, which I'm terrified, because I'm like, I don't want, but I think if we have some set rules, like you click the link, you got 2 minutes to tell me how you feel about the case and the situation, and then we'll move on to the next person. We'll just keep it moving, because I really do want to hear what everyone has to say, because you guys, you kill it in the chat, and I don't get to highlight all your comments. So, but yeah, we need Ryan. And we need to drop a link, because I think some of you click the link, put it in the chat, put a yes in the live chat, or if you're watching later in the comment section, if you made it this far, if you're in the replay crew, put a disco ball, if you have that, or something close to a disco ball, in the comment section, so I know you made it to the end. But let me know if you would click the link and want to give your opinion. Yes, Nancy, hit that like. Lady J says, I would love that. You and Ryan would be great together. You and Ryan, 2 of my favorites. That would be fun. Yes, please. We need a Jolene and Ryan episode. Thank you, Jolene. Can't wait for Ryan. It's been busy as fuck. Yes, for Ryan. And you would click it. All right. We got some people who would click the link, because I would like to hear what you guys have to say at all. You would die. Would you click it, Lucy? I would love to hear from you. I love a Lucy. I love a Lucy. All right, you guys. I'll be back very soon. Obviously tomorrow. and then possibly later today, depending on how my script writing goes. But I appreciate you guys. If you're not already, please follow me on Instagram at Joleen Lunzer and also at nooffensealloffense, where I slowly but surely hope to one day have both accounts hit 10,000 followers, because that's something that I guess sounds nice. But until then, you're all beautiful pumpkin spice babies. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And always remember to enjoy yourself, because it's later than you think. Bye.